Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Q&A call on the speakerfocus.com platform. I am CEO Kevin T. Robertson, here with the one and only Mr. Auston Troyer and the entire team at speakerfocus.com. We are here to answer the tough questions and bring you the very best Q&A session in the world with answering any and all questions pertaining to growing your speaker brand. We're here for it. We love it. We're here to provide service to you at the highest level possible. Before I get into my monologue, I want to provide everybody with some words of encouragement. I got to give a quick second, real quick. Need to make sure my computer doesn't die. Excuse me. I've been on it all day. Okay, we plugged in. I wanted to make sure it didn't die. All right. Sorry about that. So before we get into our Q&A session today, you know the drill. If you have any questions, by all means, use the raise hand feature. We are going to keep the Q&A, I could tell you right now, very brief this evening, probably no more than an hour. So if you have questions, I suggest you get them ready. For those who do not want to share, you can always use the raise hand feature. You can always submit a support ticket to support@speakerfocus.com, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions in detail. I do believe prior to the Q&A, all support tickets were cleaned out. So those of you who were waiting on some answers, we already took care of those. Thank you so much for submitting those tickets. I can see that you are advancing, you are listening, and you are learning. To the new people that's on our platform, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are in for the time of your life and for a lot of great content, a lot of great information. Again, if you have a question, use the raise hand feature. So I'm going to jump into my monologue right now, and I want to give a special shout out to one of my mentors. And I'm going to share a story with you that is very near and dear to my heart. This is one of my favorite books. It's called Speak and Grow Rich. I don't even know if it's in print anymore, but it's called Speak and Grow Rich. It's the first book I ever read about the world of high fee speaking. It was by the late, great Dottie and Lily Walters. Well, Lily is still alive, but Dottie unfortunately passed away many, many years ago. And Dottie was a giant in the speaking industry. She had Walters International Speakers Bureau. She was an international business consultant and an international keynote speaker. She had over 30,000 speakers in her speakers bureau. And this book won a poll 2,000% over any book ever written about professional speaking. She sent me an autographed copy. This is something that I cherish even to this day. And I'm reading this to you because this is all about taking the first step in your journey as being a speaker. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You know that it's going to be an uphill battle. You know that there are going to be some tough times, but your job is to just take the first step. And I took the first step before the internet came about, before the freaking internet. I'm old school for real. Before the internet, I went to the library and I found this lady named Dottie Walters from Glendora, California. So I didn't realize she was a giant in the speaking industry because she was so gracious with her time. She was a woman who served people at the highest level possible. I never forgot that. I was in my early 20s. So now this book is the most special book that I have out of 2,500 plus books in my personal library. Look at it. It's falling apart. It's got the pages of I've glued them together multiple times, but I've read this shit so many times that it just keeps falling apart. But I got it in a special place in my heart, special place in my mind, and a special place on my bookshelf. She said, "To Kevin, with every good wish for your paid speaking career, Dottie Walters." I wasn't even getting any money when she autographed and sent me this book. But man, did it mean everything to me when she got it to me. And it's like when I get an email from some of our students that have gone through the coaching program 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, they constantly stay in module 5 so they can learn how to do paid distribution and free distribution. Speak and Grow Rich. This is a book that changed my life. Just like speakerfocus.com is helping you change your life. We are nothing without mentorship. And mentorship is about willingness. Mentorship is about the willingness to teach, willingness to serve, willingness to give of your time. And if you don't have someone in your life that you're mentoring, then you don't know what leadership is all about. So I started off sharing one of my most prized possessions with you. This book has coffee stains in it. I mean, it has, look, it's all highlighted up. It has all kinds of marks in it. I mean, this was my first indoctrination into the speaking industry. This was like going to speaker college. First course or class that I took in speaker college was this book right here. I have literally read this book hundreds of times. Literally, it's traveled all over the world with me, especially in the beginning. Whenever I want to bring back some very fond memories when I was broke, when I was struggling, when I didn't know shit about the speaking industry, this is before I became a great copywriter. This is before I was really good at messaging. This is before I knew how to teach, facilitate, transfer knowledge. I don't make a dime off of selling this book. I'm just trying to share with you what I got on my mind right now, because we forget sometimes how it all started. We forget where we came from. I will never forget eating fried bologna and cheese sandwiches growing up in the hood. I will never forget the humble beginnings. I will never forget when I was a broke ass motivational speaker who couldn't offer anybody any value. But I tell you what I did have. I had one person in this game that knew more than I did. And she had the willingness to take her time. And she talked to me for about an hour and a half. I signed up. I bought her book. I signed up for a newsletter. I think I bought another product from her at the time. And then she said, not only that, when I bought the products from her, she said, Kevin, what is it that you do? She said, well, no, first she asked me what I spoke about. And then she said, Kevin, don't say anything. All young speakers say they could speak about anything. This is why we place a heavy emphasis on helping you out with your messaging, because that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, oh, I could speak about anything, because all I could offer was some motivational dialogue back then. She said, don't tell me you can speak about anything. I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you, Ms. Walters. When I see a goal, I know how to focus on it. I know how to focus on my goals. She said, oh, my. She said, well, I have 30,000 speakers in my speakers bureau. Not one of them specializes in focus. She said, you know what focus is? She said, focus is having the ability to see things others don't see. I said, wow, okay. I said, no problem. Well, I said, well, I can do that. And then when she told me that about focus, then she asked me, she said, Kevin, could you write me an article about focus? I have a tattoo. It's called The Clarity of Focus. My first book was called The Clarity of Focus. The article that I submitted to her was the first draft of what I would turn into a book, The Clarity of Focus. She not only published it in her article, and she published an article in her magazine, international magazine. That was my first time being in an international speaking magazine at 23 years old. It was called Sharing Ideas Magazine. My first internationally published article. My first published article ever was in the International Speaking Magazine. I believe that issue that came out, Les Brown was on the cover. Little did I know, years later, I was going to meet Les Brown, and he was going to ask me to come speak at one of his events, which was another pivotal moment in my life. Why am I sharing all of this with you today? Because students on the speakerfocus.com platform, I don't care what kind of struggles you're going through right now. I don't care how difficult it is for you. I'm telling you, all you got to do is just take the first step. I am a living example of what happens when you just don't give up on yourself. I'm a living example of what happens when you battle through depression and anxiety and countless failures. I had about 25 pieces of anxiety try to jump on me today. It's all dressed up and different. It all looks the same after a while, but it's the same. It's the same. If you're going to be able to have a lot of success, you can expect to endure a lot of pain. And I'm hurting right now, as so should you. You should be hurting right now too. And if you're hurting, that means that you're getting closer to your goal. And if you need to reach out for help, reach out. That's why we're here every Monday. Now, with that being said, if anybody has any questions that they have about taking the first step or about any steps that you are encountering on your journey right now, by all means, raise your hand. This is what we're here for. Use the raise hand feature, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Remember, we're keeping the Q&A short today, so if anybody doesn't have any questions, we can keep it even shorter. Okay, I see one person's hand go up right now. Okay. Eliza, how are you?
Hey, Kevin, I'm hurting.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hurting is a good thing.
It's my very first time here, and I wanted to say hello, and nobody jumped with their hands up. So here I am. Lisa texted me a few minutes ago and said, "You're going to be there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nervous." So
cool. Yeah. Well, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you on our platform. I know you're new to the platform. I want to thank you for not only joining us, but I want to thank you for jumping right in. And you had your fears and concerns, just like all of us had when we first started. Remember, I shared the story with you about Dottie Walters. Man, was I afraid when I first started. I didn't know anything about anything in this business. All I knew, I had this feeling in my stomach that I knew I wanted to learn. And Dottie Walters was the first professional speaker and consultant who really opened up my eyes like I did with you on the call. So, and then I want to thank you for joining us. And then I want to thank you for diving right in there and attacking the work, submitting your bio within, you weren't even on the platform 2 days, I believe. You had a lot going on. And then you were actually concerned about your first submission of your signature programs. And my God, did you do an outstanding job? You're not that far off.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And I figured if I don't jump in, I can stall. So I'm going for it. You know, I've been speaking professionally inside my arena for years, 23 plus years, but I'm looking to really up level to a whole different arena, which is actually being paid. So there's that.
Yeah, I like the way you said getting paid is like a separate arena, and it is, because it beats not getting paid.
Getting paid. So I'm going to go through the modules, and I'm going to be here as often as possible. And I just feel like I'm kind of throwing spaghetti on the wall with creating a signature program. I'm like, there's so many things, and how do you focus, and how do you, you know, I got your feedback on that one, and I'm like, okay, give me more feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, this is the reason why, you know, we have a community, and it's a training platform versus more of a one-on-one coaching kind of thing. Right. You know, we can serve you at the highest level possible through support and actually on the Monday Q&A call. I never thought it was possible to do that when I was doing one-on-one coaching, as a lot of our, we have tons of coaches and consultants on our platform, and they're in a bit of a trap like I used to be, you know, just having your whole day taken up and not really understanding that the video modules and the support is always a better teacher, because the goal is this: if you're not willing to do your part and do the work, and then I'm not willing to critique and give the constructive criticism and point you in the right direction, then it just doesn't work. But when it does work, is that this is how we keep score. We keep score because I can see that you've submitted your bio. I can see, not even being on a platform for 7 days, that you have submitted the first draft of your first signature program, or really all of your signature programs. You let me review it. See, what you did was you let go. You let go because you want the help. Do you know some students on our platform, they overthink it. They hold their signature program for months because they want to tweak it and get it right. And then you know what happens? You said you stalled. Is that what you told me? You said if you don't jump in, you stall, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, yep. What you're doing is you're getting you're in attack mode. And if you don't attack your speaker business, it's going to attack you. Stay in attack mode. This is why we show up every Monday, so we can offer our time to students on the platform who are experiencing some ups and downs in life. And a lot of us don't know how to get out of it when we're down. So with that being said, did you have any questions or concerns besides a welcome that you wanted to share with us?
My question, I think it'll come up in a later module, but it feels like I should know my ideal audience before I finesse my signature talks. Do I have that kind of backwards?
Okay, no problem. Let's slow down. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up and let's talk about it. This is why we're here. So think about it like this. Remember that leadership is the #1 bookable and most requested topic. Now, you turned yours into, I believe it was empowerment programs. Is that correct?
I did.
Empowerment-based success, empowerment-based this. Well, that's fine. See, what you saw in your mind, you saw the baseline, and then you said, okay, oh, I see what he wants us to do, but this is how I feel. See, the creative process is about you getting the ideas out of your head. What's in your spirit? What's in your gut? What's in your heart? What do you feel that you want to share with the world? That's what we want to see when you send in the signature program submission. So you did that. Now, when you get the feedback, now it's time to refine the messaging, which we're going to do maybe once or twice back and forth, and your signature program is going to be all the way complete. Now, let's check off a box that is a big concern of everybody on this platform. So let's go to the 6 different target markets. Okay, now we get into this in module 2, which you're not in right now, but let me just give you a cursory glance of what you can expect of how you match the messaging to the right target buyer, target audience, target market. Now they all sound the same, right? Because they got market in there, but let me break them down. Your leadership or empowerment message, not motivational or inspirational message, because the meeting plan doesn't give a shit about your motivational, inspirational story. What they want is value. You are showing them value by way of your empowerment or leadership messaging. Eliza, am I making sense?
Yes, you are. I'm tracking you.
Now, you're going to take that powerful message, and then you are going to get it to the target buyer. Target buyer, by the way, we refer to them as meeting planner, event specialist, event strategist. They are a chair, board, or committee member who is control of the budget. Make no mistake about it. Everything I'm telling you to do, and Auston is telling you to do on the speakerfocus.com platform, is geared towards one thing: to have an impact on the person that controls the budget. Everything I tell you to do, you don't have to agree with it. But I know what I'm talking about after 2,700 paid speaking engagements and being in this industry for 37 years. And I am a member of the International Association of Meeting Planners. Not only am I a speaker, but I'm a meeting planner as well. So I understand how they think. Not only have I serviced them, but I understand. I've done events before. I understand what it takes. I understand how to put together a speaker lineup. I understand how to evaluate talent. I can look at their website and see, oh my God, that is the speaker that we need for our closing keynote right there, because they have the value. They're not talking me into it, because they're showing me the value through their signature programs. Now, your target buyer controls the what, Eliza?
Budget.
They control the budget. Your target market, this is what we're going to teach you in module 2, which is coming up for you. Youth market, speaking to kids. Faith-based market, speaking to churches. There's a low and a high end of these markets. You have experienced the low end of the faith-based market.
Yes, I have.
A bit of a broken system. Collection, love, offering, honorarium. You're going to walk away with some Chick-fil-A and some gas money if you're lucky on a good day.
Yep.
Unless you're speaking at the mega churches that have the bigger budgets. That's how they're going to do you. They're going to put their arm around you and they're going to say, sister. When they call you sister or brother, the next words out of their mouth is going to be for free.
Right.
How do you get around that? We've got to stop as speakers. I did this before. We've got to stop offering our services to markets who are incapable of paying us the fee that we require. Youth market, faith-based market, government contracting market. You're not celebrated, you're tolerated in this market. They're not interested in getting the most skilled speaker. I was doing 10 to 15 of these government contracts every month, but I was a skilled speaker. I wasn't just a motivational speaker anymore talking to kids. I wasn't an inspirational speaker speaking to the churches. I was a skilled speaker. I knew how to teach, facilitate, and transfer knowledge, but they didn't want to pay me like I was skilled because they don't want the best. They want the lowest price speaker. So I got tired of them underpaying me. Then you have the college and university market. They like to put a cap on your salary as well, unless you're a celebrity speaker. They'll have you a check when you get on campus, but you have to take out all your expenses up front. The youth market, you got to wait 30, 60, 90 days to get your money. I didn't like that. I didn't like government contracting. It was paying you after services are rendered. But you know who does pay you what you're worth, Eliza? An association market.
Yeah, which is why I'm here, Kevin.
They will give you the 5,000 to 10,000. When I asked Tyco, was the very first company to pay me $5,000 USD. Now I did a full day training. The lady said, "That's all?" I should have charged them 10, but I didn't know how to have the proper pricing conversation. The things that I'm teaching you on this platform, you're very wise to listen to me, because when I tell you I've messed this shit up like you would not even begin to believe. Next to the word failure, it should be a picture of me next to the word failure in the dictionary. And I don't give a damn about failing, because that's how you learn.
That's
and
right.
Many of you are still afraid to fail. It's going to happen. It's just part of the process. It's okay. I failed about 25 to 50 times a day already. Little micro failures, mini failures, emotional failures. I mean, come on, we just got to keep moving forward. Do we have a choice? We got a lot of people depending on us. So the goal is to get your empowerment or leadership message to the right target buyer who's going to pay you the fee that you deserve. Get your message to the right target market who's going to respect your professional speaking deliverables. So they're going to put you in front of the right target audience who's going to receive your message. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I am picking it up.
Okay, Eliza, you got any other questions or comments or concerns or wins?
No, I'm ready. I'm good. I'm fastening my seatbelt and holding on and letting go all at once.
Let me ask you this, because remember when I told you that I understood that you were a very confident and empowered female entrepreneur?
You did say that, yes.
Yeah. We shouldn't have to put you in a category like when two black quarterbacks, it was the first time in the history of the Super Bowl that two black quarterbacks competed against each other as starting quarterbacks. I would love to get to the point one day where we don't have to say two black quarterbacks. I would love to get to the point where I'm not saying female or woman entrepreneur.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that other women on our platform need to see women like you winning. So can you answer one question for me? Because it's some woman out there, I can feel it. They need to hear this on this call. What made you get out of your own way and drop your fears and trust me enough to say, I need to be doing this right now, because I got some stuff that I'm dealing with right now and I'm not happy about where I am. Can you just tell me what you were thinking about to make that decision to come on board with us?
Yeah, yes. The long story, very, very short, is I've, but if most people don't, 23 years as an ordained minister, and I work in churches and I get paid a little bit, but not much. But I have been yearning for this global, international, huge speaking stage for years and years and years and years. And it will ignite in me and then it'll disappear. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. It's just like, come on out, big vision and sneak back. So we're talking this decision. I only met you once. I decided 10 minutes after we were talking, I'm doing this. But I also had a long conversation with Lisa Almond Baldwin. I've been watching her. We met several years ago, and I've been watching her, and I'm watching her take off, and I'm watching her getting gigs at Microsoft. So I called her up. I said, okay, what's the deal? And she said, what's the deal? It's called Kevin. I said, okay, how do I reach him? And what I know to be true for me is that I can either step out of my comfort zone or I can stay in it. But I'm 61 years old. If I stay in it any longer, I'm never getting out of it. So the timing was right. You appeared, Lisa appeared. It's like, okay, I'm I'm doing this.
I want to thank you for sharing that. And the reason why I asked you was because we all sometimes we're not present in listening to the universe call our name. But when you respond, look what happens. The tribe all gets it all done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa Allman Baldwin, for the love and the support and undying loyalty that you have for speakerfocus.com, both myself and Auston, and believing in our vision and everything we're doing. So, Eliza, you keep doing your thing, keep submitting the homework assignments. Remember, support and showing up on Monday. The students that do that the most are the ones that have the most success on this platform. Now, watch this. It's not about rushing, but it is about speed.
Mm-hmm.
The faster we can get you through to module 2, and then it's going to start clicking. So watch this. Remember, you always be willing to upgrade your marketing language. Speaking is not your number one skill, but copywriting is. So you are like Lisa Allman Baldwin. You're a very skilled writer. You've taken your thoughts, your ideology, your approach, what you think about leadership and empowerment, and you put it in a very, very professional way. I didn't have to modify much. What did I tell you to do with your bullets? I said, just make them a little bit what? Just longer.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
I said, just
little
add a little bit
meatier.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, I gave you an example of one of your opening paragraphs of how I would like it to flow. I just want you to mimic the flow of that to your other one. And they're not that far off, as you can see. See how the changes that I made to the opening paragraph? It was very minor. Maybe it was like 7 or 8 changes. I just put the connecting pieces in there to make it flow better.
Yes.
That's all I want from you. You got it?
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. You're very welcome. Glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're here to serve at the highest level possible, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do each and every Monday. Lisa Allman Baldwin.
You just love saying my whole name.
Lisa, what can I say? I love you, woman. What can I say?
I loved it. At Showcase, you promised you were going to spin me around in the air, and you did. I loved it.
Hey, listen, I saw you walking away. I was like, oh my God, Lisa, KTR. It's all good, Lisa. What's your win or your question or comment tonight?
Well, I want to say welcome to Eliza. She's amazing, and she will add so much to our group, which is just full of nothing but love.
Absolutely. Thank you for the referral too. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. So tonight's questions are all for Auston.
Okay, he's here.
Auston.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
Awesome. Thank you for answering all of those tech questions this morning. I got those, and I just have a few follow-up questions to make sure I understand a couple of things. Let's see. First, this one wasn't in there, but it's a new one. Who would you, or what company would you suggest for a social media scheduler? So right now I'm using the Facebook Business Suite, Meta, whatever they call it, to schedule my Facebook and Instagram, since they're owned by the same, platform. And then I'm using Twitter. You can schedule. So I'm using that because that doesn't cost me either. And Hootsuite, I was using that for LinkedIn, but they're going to a paid version starting at the end of March. But I'd kind of like to maybe get everything all on one, so I don't have to piecemeal it like that. So I know some people use HubSpot, which I'm not familiar with, but who would you suggest?
Yeah, HubSpot's it gets real expensive, so I wouldn't suggest that. Buffer's a really great tool. I'd recommend that. And they have a free version that you should be able to just stay on, but then they also have like a really cheap plan as well that is super powerful. So I'd use Buffer.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the question I had asked, I'm going to repeat it just so everybody knows what I'm asking. This has to do with GMath. So what happens with the drip sequence follow-ups when you get a response that's an automated message that says, I'm out of the office on vacation, or so-and-so doesn't work with the company? It's an auto message. And you said it'll stop following up if they auto reply on your thread. Otherwise, it will keep following up. So if I get one of those, you know, so-and-so's out of the office till Friday, do we add them back into, how do we get them back in so they'll keep getting the follow-up sequence?
They will keep getting it unless their autoresponder replies directly to your thread, like your email thread.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times it'll just kind of like send you an auto response in its own email. In that case, it'll just keep following up. But for the ones that do reply right on the thread, which is very little, I would just not worry about them and just get them back in a new sequence next week, right? Because you're going to do them every week or 2 weeks. So even the people that, remember, you're going to be sending to the people that, oh, I see what you're saying, because they'll be marked as replied in the system. And
Right.
yeah, that's a good point. I think right now we just kind of don't email those people again. And I mean, I'm sure there's a way you could kind of like manually go through and look at all the replies and just copy and paste the people that had an auto reply, and just copy and paste them back into the spreadsheet and kind of start a new campaign based on the people that essentially replied. So what you can do in Gmail is just go, or what you can do in GMass is just go in and actually, I'll just share my screen so you can see it.
Okay. Because I've got, like, for example, I sent one out, I think it was, I don't know, Thursday, Friday last week, and I probably got 10 or 12 back, you know, because people are gone. I'm on vacation, I'm on maternity leave, I'm gone, I'm out of the office at meetings for 2 days.
Right.
You know, so I didn't want, you know, lose out on all of those.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so just click on replies. Let's see. Okay, so what you'll do is just click on this.
Great, we can't see your
And-
screen. We can't see. Your
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just sending you the link. So click on that.
Okay.
You'll see the campaign. You just click on the replies. You'll see replies. Just click on the number, and it'll download all the emails of people that replied.
Okay.
And what you can do is just exclude those people when you go to set up a new campaign for the next week. Exclude the people that replied, but include the ones that you manually go through and see if they're an auto responded reply. And then that'll essentially make it so that you're reaching out to people that have never replied, that have never replied or replied with an auto responder. But it's going to have to be a manual process because GMass doesn't have a feature to kind of like filter them out in a good way.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand you. So I'm not copying and pasting them into a spreadsheet. I'm just leaving it. Let's see. I'm looking to see which ones was an autoresponder. But if I'm sending out a new campaign every Yeah, I see what you're saying, because we're supposedly sending out a new campaign to people who have never responded, but they've default responded. So you're saying copy and paste their names back in? I'm confused.
Yeah, Lisa, to be honest, I would just keep it simple and just ignore the people that auto responded, and you'll never reach back out to them again. And that's okay. Like we've been doing that and we get really great results. So just kind of ignore the people that auto responded because they're going to be in a campaign. They're going to be considered replied to your campaign.
Okay, but isn't that potentially knocking out some people that could be good contacts just because they have an autoresponder that's out of town?
Yeah, but the complexity of trying to add them back into the campaigns through manual work is not greater than the ROI of like, you know, kind of like complicating the process and having to go through manually to do all this. You could do it in an automated way. And by the way, it's going to be such a small amount of people because GMass only counts the people that have auto responded to your thread as replied. if someone emails, if an autoresponder gets sent out to you, but it's not an autoresponder to your reply, to your thread that you've sent them,
Got it.
then they're not counted as a replied person. They're only counted as replied if their autoresponder responds to your thread, which is highly unlikely. We're talking.
Yeah. None of those were like that. They were just the auto one. Okay.
Yeah, so all those people won't be considered replied when you go to send out a next campaign. So
Okay.
yeah, so the complexity of like, there's probably less than 1% that are gonna actually like have an autoresponder that replies to the thread, and it's just not worth all this extra complexity to make it non-automated just to try to get those people. Because there's an endless supply of new leads. So just keep finding more people.
Okay. All right. Now I totally understand that. Okay. And then I asked you, do I schedule follow-up stage messages for campaigns sent to people who have already previously booked calls as well? And you said yes, but I think after I got your response, I think maybe my question wasn't clear. So these are people that booked calls with me, and they're getting not a campaign that's an outreach campaign, rather a campaign that's a whole blog about a value. So it could be on a different topics. So those don't need a follow-up, correct? Because I'm not trying to get them to respond to me. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't try to like exclude them from the campaign unless they've paid you money. Like they've hired you to speak. I would just keep them in your same campaigns unless they've replied. So I just keep sending your weekly kind of value-based emails. But if they happen to be in your kind of direct outreach, cold emails that you're sending to people, that's okay too, because we found a lot of people actually sign up. Even if we've talked to them, they'll kind of like fall through the cracks of other follow-up, and will like still like that reaching back out to them with the email, the cold email actually led to them being a customer because they kind of just life got in the way. So I'd recommend just keeping it simple. And if they haven't replied to the cold email, but they booked a calendar, like just keep them in the sequences every week.
Okay, awesome, great. Let's see. Okay, at first you had said that I should to warm up my list when I first started GMass was to just do 50 a day. So I have, let's see, 2 different campaign messages going out right now because they're tailored toward different groups. And then I have a different one for my tour. So in general, should we still keep it at 50 or just send it to the whole list, whatever the campaign is?
I would recommend, so since you're using a Gmail account, I wouldn't recommend going over 50 a day, because like if you go over that sending from Gmail, Gmail is going to actually stop your account from sending, and the deliverability is going to go down a lot. So what I would recommend doing, keep that running at 50 a day. And how long have you been doing it for? Like a couple weeks?
The 50 a day, I think like a week and a half, maybe.
Okay. Well, let's just get it to 2-week period. And once you hit like a 2 full weeks of the 50, then you can actually start to ramp it up to more emails. But let's keep it at 50 a day until we hit the 2-week mark. And then that'll be your emails will be much warmer. And then you can feel confident ramping it up to maybe, let's say 200 a day.
Okay. Now, if you're saying that Gmail will stop you from sending them out if you're sending more than 50 a day, won't they do that once I ramp it up to more than that?
So they're going to do that if your email's not warm, like it's brand new. And
okay.
Sorry, I didn't make that more clear. But so once you get it warmed up for 2 weeks, they get a little more lenient on how many you can actually start sending out per day.
Okay.
And let me share a document here. You can actually see their limits. Their limits posted here are actually lower if your account's not warmed up, but once it's warmed up, like with 2 weeks, your limit is 2,000 messages per day that
Okay.
are emailed out. So 200, I think will be good. Now you have to remember, like, you have to consider the follow-up emails in that limit as well.
Mm,
So if you're sending out 3 follow-ups, you're
mhm.
likely doing like one new email a day to new prospects. And then you're like maybe doing 2 or 3 emails to
Mhm.
previous prospects. So you may be sending out like 600, right? So
Yeah. Okay. So then, so that falls into my next question is, you had mentioned, I can't remember the thing, but once we got to sending out, like you guys, you're sending out hundreds and thousands of, it was another platform you said that we could add to use to send out more. I can't remember what it was though.
yeah, it's called SendGrid.
Yeah. So when should I look into sending by that then?
Yeah, I wouldn't start doing that until you have messaging that is actually like working really well to book calls and you have like some proven messaging, because it'll be too expensive.
Mhm.
So there's the SendGrid and the pricing. The pricing's not bad. Like, you can get on their essentials plan, which I recommend. And even if you send out, let's say 30,000 emails a month, which is like 1,000 a day, you're only looking at like $19 a month. Actually, it even goes up to, okay, 50,000 emails a month is only $19 a month. So when you get your messaging dialed in and you start booking some gigs, then you can look over to SendGrid to kind of break those Gmail limits
Mhm.
and really scale up your volume.
Okay. So now going back to what you were saying about the through GMass, that if it's 200 a day and then there's follow-up emails, and so that would basically could bring up to 600. Is that going to be too high then for me to do the 200 a day? Or
No,
it's,
it'll still be under the 2,000 limit.
oh,
That
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, that'll be fine. Yeah, just keep
Okay.
that in mind. It's like that limit is kind of like the total emails being sent out limit, not
Mhm.
just kind of first ones. Like the follow-up have to be included in that number. So no,
Got
I
it.
think that should be good. 200 a day sounds great. I
Okay.
wouldn't I wouldn't push it much more than that for
Yeah.
now, until your email's been sending at that for, maybe another 2 weeks or so, and then you can kind of ramp it up even more.
Awesome. Okay. And thank you for sending me that information on how to do the suppression spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So just for everybody else, what my question was to Austin is, if we have people, if we're using GMass or not, he said not to use an unsubscribed link, but instead to just have verbiage in there that says, if this is not a fit for you, just reply with no thank you. And so I had asked Austin, well, should I just delete them from my list? And he said, don't delete them from the spreadsheet list, but to use a suppression spreadsheet, which you can find out in GMass. So my question is, just curious for my own education, and I did create a suppression spreadsheet today, which is great, but why would we not delete them from the spreadsheet? I'm just trying to get the rationale behind that.
Just so you have them if you want to reach out to them later.
Okay.
If you're gonna like create a backup of those people that you're deleting in a different spreadsheet, that's fine too. But yeah, I think, let me see what your exact, let's see. I'm trying to see what your exact question was. Could you re-say what your question was?
Oh yeah. Let me go up to what I sent you. Okay, let's see.
Oh yeah, you wanted to change the verbiage of your unsubscribe page. Oh wait, no, no.
Yeah, no, that one I understood, because you said that we're not going to do an unsubscribe list. No, what my original question was, if someone answered that this is not a fit, so no thank you, if I remove them from the Google Sheet, do they somehow remain in GMass for a future time when I use that campaign? But that's what you were telling me about using the suppression list, so they won't get it again, and I don't have to worry about trying to track them down on the spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what you could do if you don't want to do the suppression list, you can also just delete them and just make sure you have a backup of them for the future, just so you know, kind of you have a list of those that did unsubscribe.
Yeah, I have it on, the suppression list is great because then all of them will be there and then I know I can go back to that.
Right, exactly.
Okay. When we go into the GMAS, all the tabs and everything, should we click on skip logging emails to sent folder so that we don't have to, because they'll all go in our Gmail sent folder, and if I'm doing more than 50 a day or anything, it sends it every single time. So should we click on that?
No, keep them in there so you can use the Gmail search box to see what has been sent before. Yeah, I'd keep them for sure.
But it sends it out an individual one. So like I looked in there the other day and there were like 400 emails in there.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I have over like 5 million in the sent folder. It's okay. You can keep them in there.
But isn't that going to take up the room on your Gmail after a while?
Well, you're spending, like, Gmail doesn't take up that much space. You're saying like the storage?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the storage. Like, you're paying for a G Suite account, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you won't run out of storage because but that just doesn't take up as much space as like files or anything like that. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay. All right. Then GMAS allows you to download a bounce CSV. Would we add those to the suppression list also? Or would GMAS have already deleted them or inactivated them because they bounced?
Yeah, as long as you do it the right way. When you set up a new campaign, when you are about to send out a new campaign, just make sure you click on the button, send to people who have never replied from a previous campaign, and that'll essentially weed out anyone that's bounced before.
Okay, can you say that again, please, to make sure I got that?
Yeah, so when you go to send out a new campaign, just
Mhm.
make sure you click the button to send out a new campaign based on the actions from the previous campaign, and do the no reply. The people that have did not reply, and that'll exclude all the bounced people.
Okay. All right. That is all the questions I had. Thank you very much. Oh, I will say to you and Kevin that this tech is just, well, let me say it this way. Kevin, you always talk about using our affirmations, which I use every day, and I have several that I saved during the day. But what I realize is that what I'm saying a lot of the time is I'm not tech girl. I don't understand tech. Tech confounds me. So I stopped saying that because that's what I'm putting out there. This tech is, I mean, just GMAS alone, it has saved me literally hours, and it is completely blowing my mind. And I'm almost excited. I've never been so excited to make a damn spreadsheet in my life.
Yeah, well, that's what happened when you make the transition and you start pivoting. It's a mindset. How many times I have to tell all of you that I used to be in your shoes? I literally was freaked out about it. If you're not anything that you're not comfortable with, you're not going to like it. It's not sexy.
Right.
It's boring, but you can get excited about technology. I'm excited about it right now, and it's not just so, you can't, you obviously you have a great partner like Auston who doesn't minimize me when he's teaching me whatever I need to know. But, I can't be, Auston has a growing family. He's going into a different stage of his life right now. It's not fair for me to just keep relying on him for every single thing. I have to take responsibility with everything that he had to teach me. He'll make a training tutorial for me, or he'll give me a link, and he's constantly sending me stuff. I have learned more to make that a bigger part of my life, so I can understand it, so I can feel like I'm not out of the conversation. I feel like I can keep up. I don't have to know how to do it all, but I need to know how to do enough to keep up without feeling like you're out of the game. And I'm telling you, when it comes to CRM management, you better stay on top of it. You better stay organized. You better know it. Don't be afraid to change softwares. Auston moves us around all the time for whatever reason. I don't ever say, oh, damn, man, why we got to use something new? No, just learn to use something new. Because what happens is sometimes the software that you're using, it doesn't fit your needs anymore. We didn't start out using SendGrid, but we have to use SendGrid now because we're pushing out emails at scale. I didn't even know what that meant, but I do now. And you have to understand what the software is responsible for. And when you get all these things systematized, you're growing. You're learning GMAS right now. Eventually, guess what? You're going to grow to another level where you have to use something else. And you're going to move over to that. And you may have another question about it. That's why you got Auston, because if he don't know, he can find out.
Right.
Because all his boys and all the people that run these multi-million-dollar sales funnels, they use it. And there's a reason why we want you to use it. So you just I keep telling you, stay in there, hang in there. Eventually, the fear and the anxiety is going to evaporate. And you have a responsibility to yourself to wake up every day and learn how to use this shit. Because it's not going to go away. Technology is going to become more involved, excuse me. And the more success you have, and when you literally rely, listen to what you just said. Man, GMAS has saved my life. It has saved me countless hours. There's other tools out there that can save you even more time. Think about the automation that gets fired off, where I had to literally go in and send out an email and 2 text messages after every single call, 20 plus calls a day. I was always behind. I'm not behind anymore because all I got to do is click one button, give me the drop-down fields. I type in the characteristics of the call. I hit one button, done at the bottom, and it automatically sends out a full email for me. 2 text messages on the follow-up, and I'm on to the next thing. That's the reason why. There's a reason why we want you to do it, and then we're showing you how to do it. All you got to do is spend the time in there so you develop a level of comfort. When you master that, move to something else that you're uncomfortable about, because trust me, when I tell you, there's always something you're going to be uncomfortable about. When they say there's layers and levels to it, that's an understatement. Yeah. But I got to say, I'm proud of you. And by the way, before I let you go, your content to the meeting planner is freaking outstanding. Your messaging to the meeting planner through your social media strategy is textbook, and that's outstanding. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. And thank you, Auston.
You're welcome. Rodney Green's going to be our last call of the evening. Then we have to wrap up the Q&A for the night. Rodney, this is the last call. Rodney, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, KTR? Everything going good?
Hey, man, everything's going. You know what I'm saying? If I got complaints, nobody wants to hear it.
That's
So-
very true. That's
so-
very true. I will listen. Well,
Well,
anyway,
I'd listen to you too, but at the end of the day, no one really cares. And that's the
I
truth.
understand.
So I keep it to myself. I'm having an outstanding Monday, Rodney. How about that?
That's good. That's good. Start the week off great. That's good. But so I have a couple questions. The first question that I have is, are you guys going to upload the Q&A calls, like refresh it so I can relook at it? Because you had an interesting conversation with, I forgot who it was, last week that I wanted to kind of revisit again. Are you going to put that on Speaker Focus?
Yeah, absolutely. Auston was at conference last week, so he was on travel. So things got a little bit hectic, but I'm sure he's gonna have him up there. He's playing catch up right now on a couple of things. There's no support tickets in there right now, so I'm sure that's on his to-do list to be able to get the one up from last Monday and get this one up. So since he probably just heard you say that, he's probably going to get it up a little bit faster.
I appreciate it, Auston.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. That's why that's why those Q&A calls are recorded, bro. Because I'm telling you right now, there is gold in every last one of them. And if there's a spot where you're hurting in your speaker business, you can always back it up. You can always fast forward to that one section, and you can get the strategy, man. This is the reason why we're here. We make our money on a Q&A call and that support. And it's also how we keep track of whether or not you're doing the work. Rodney, you've been very active over the last 30 or 45 days. Stay active, brother. You're not that far away. You've made a couple changes to your speaker info kit. You upgraded your website. You're working on your speaker video demo right now. Follow some examples. I remember you asked me a question, Dr. Krishna, was a great example of a person who put together a speaker video demo throughout the pandemic, didn't have a lot of live footage, but she took the Zoom sessions and she took Zoom sessions from her client sessions and from other things that she did and some talking headshots, and she put together a killer speaker video demo. Did you check that out?
I did. I'm gonna use a lot of what she did and a lot of what Edward Mosley did
See how simple
with
it was?
his with
See how-
Edward Mosley.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Because
Edward is one of the people that is definitely in the top tier of our coaching students. The reason why I sent you Dr. Krishna in specific was because you asked me like, okay, well, what if you don't have any performance footage like Showcase? Okay, there's all kinds of ways to get around it. And she did not have any live footage. She had all talking headshots and live Zoom sessions. And then the filler stuff that she put in there, we taught her how to do that. And she had a killer speaker video demo.
yeah, I'm gonna use both of those as like the templates of like how I'm gonna do it.
I'm not mad
and
at you.
I've been
That's why I sent you the top student success on our platform that's crushing it. And then you can just go in there and look at everybody. We taught them how to put together every last thing on their website, speaker video demo and speaker info kit. Those links.
there was an email.
Say it
My
again.
bad, I'm sorry.
No,
There was
you
an email that you sent, and it had like maybe like 6 or 7 of them of like websites and videos that you were like, these are the ones that I need. I can't find that email anywhere. I'm trying to like find it so I can
It was
look at
in
some
support.
of those.
I said, I tell you what, if you can't find it, I'll resend it to you. Just send me another support ticket through support, and I will attach it there sometime
Okay.
tonight and tomorrow morning. Because I'm probably gonna go in and look at support, see if it's anything in there, and then I'll reach back out to you. Yeah, the reason why I sent you that is because those are some great examples of people who start where they are.
Yeah.
I sent you the low end to the high end stuff. You know, you can't make your speaker video demo about money. People like Edward spend some bread. People like Ben Hall, they spent some bread on their speaker video demo. But Dr. Krishna just took a bunch of clips together that was talking headshots, and then she hired an editor, you know, and it was very inexpensive what she did, but she put together a nice version of her speaker video demo that really spoke about her signature programs and got the message into the target buyer. Remember, start where you are. You're gonna always be upgrading your sales tools and your marketing collateral all the time.
Yeah. I've been really, that's the thing that's really been in my head. Like, I really want this video. I really want my video, and I really want the website to be like, hey, this is the person I want to come to my event. And I don't want to like, I want to do everything in excellence. And kind of where I am, I don't feel like it, even though I'm just in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to doing both of those things. I just want it to be right.
Okay, why is that? Why is that? Talk to me. You want to do everything in excellence. What exactly does that mean?
I want it to be like if a stranger comes up to my website or looks at the video on any platform, I want them to be like, okay, this person is really serious about what he's doing, and he has the expertise and knowledge for me to be like, I want this person to come to my event.
Okay.
My question comes because I see everybody doing what should be my purpose of my video? Maybe that's the better question. Like, what am I trying to convey?
Well, first of all, you're trying to convey value to the target buyer of professional speaking services.
Right. Okay.
You are delivering talking headshots, bullets and sound bites from your signature programs, any type of filler content, all your transitions, all the content that you have in that timeline for that video, your logo, your lower thirds, the titles to your signature programs. All you're doing is showing them that you deliver value, and you're giving them some key takeaways. You're helping them achieve their desired outcomes and all of their learning objectives. That's what you're doing. That's the reason why when you look at all those speaker video demos, me and Auston approved those ourselves. If it wasn't conveying the right message into the target market, I would have said, do it over, which I have to tell. Listen, somebody just submitted a speaker video demo, it was like a promotional video. It had multiple call to actions in there. That is not what a speaker video demo is supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be saying, hire me through the whole thing. You're supposed to be helping them solve a problem. That's what you really need to be asking yourself. Go back and look at my speaker video demo. It's like a playground for meeting planners. I keep telling y'all this. You've got to learn how to develop content that adds value to the person that's hiring you to speak. See, Rodney, let me just leave you with this, bro, because you aren't the only one that's suffering from this. You want this shit to be perfect. Just be honest with me.
Yeah, there. Very close. Very close.
Well, you're gonna waste time with that bullshit mindset, Rodney. Let that shit go.
Okay. I'm gonna let it go.
Why do you want to get it so perfect? Why do you want to reside in excellence? This is all fantasy land marketing bullshit. Why do you want to do that? Just help me understand why does it need to be excellent? Why does it need to be perfect? I'm trying to help somebody else right now, Rodney. I ain't trying to give you a hard time.
So, all right. So in everything that I want to do, and everything I'm striving to be, like in my personality and all of that, how I approach things, I want to approach it with the best foot forward. And with these assignments that you have given us, I want every draft to be the best that I possibly can do. You give me the critiques and I go from there. I want it to be that's how I've been doing it. Giving you the best that I have, giving you to put the red marks or to change whatever you need to change, and me going back to the drawing boards and saying, okay, this is what I did good, this is what I did bad. But I want to know at the end of the day that I gave it my all. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but this is a problem that a lot of our students have on our platform. They're holding it, they're holding it, they're holding it, they're holding it. They don't want us to review it. You should be trying to get our eyeballs on it as quickly as possible. So you know what that does in between you trying to live between excellence and excuse me, excellence and perfection? It wastes a lot of time. Okay. I just when you say put your best foot forward, that's what I mean. Start where you are. If you're proud of the content that you're putting out there, then that's great. All I'm telling you is that when you send it over to us, and I tell you, like I had to tell one of our students, they said, hey, KTR, now their website was amazing. Their speaker info kit, amazing. They thought I was going to say amazing for the speaker video demo, but it wasn't. You know why? Because they were doing too much call to action. You're not delivering enough value. You're not saying anything about the value found in your signature programs, which is what you're supposed to be doing. They can see that, Rodney. Meeting planners book speakers at the $5,000 to $10,000 level. They operate different when they're paying you $0 to $1,000. These people are putting their neck on the line to hire you to speak. So you're right. When they go to your website, they are supposed to see the value. So this is what you need to ask yourself. Am I happy with the colors in my speaker info kit? Am I happy with the design? Am I proud of the brand that I'm putting forward? Am I happy with the illustrations? Am I proud of the verbiage that I put forth? If that's a yes, then keep moving forward. And then when you get better, go back and upgrade. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So with the speaking of that, I sent you over my speaker kit. You didn't actually say the word approve. Maybe this is just my mind. I just want to make sure it was good. Like I'm good to go with that. Well, you change. Clearly, you're attached to color, right? You change the color. You change the color, but you still attach the color. You don't want to go with a white background. You want to be artsy. I get it. So what you did was you sent in a less artsy version. You sent in something that was more simplistic than the one you sent through before. I said, okay, I see what he's trying to do. It's your design. The template that you picked out is still kind of fancy, but I can read the verbiage better than I could in the first one, because understand this, anytime you use, and Rodney, I used to suffer from this a lot. I wanted to be too artsy instead of thinking about how the person reads it.
But you can't go wrong with a white background, brother. Anybody can read a white background. Now you may have a little tint back there, but when you start putting designs and shit, your text start getting lost in the background design. This is a
Okay.
problem I used to have. But I could read when you send it over to me, you're going to have to put it out there into the marketplace and see if people respond to it. Now, if you're getting crickets, if people aren't responding to it, we call it a market fit. You haven't been out there in the market long enough, so we don't know if it's a fit.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, he changed the color. It's the majority of the background is still white. It still look professional. Put it out there and let's see. And if you're not
Okay.
booking these speaking engagements, and we have to analyze the fact that that's the problem, then we change it later down the line. But right now, you have great information inside the packet. It does look clean. It does look professional.
All right.
You
Okay.
did send me over the first version, and what did I tell you? You tried to use
You said it was, you said you appreciated my artistic look on it, but however, the text was getting lost in the background.
Yeah.
And I went to a more simplistic version.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the one you sent me before this one that we have. I'm talking about the one you sent me like last year.
No, the one I sent you before. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Template.
That's what you said about it.
Yeah, the template. We had some alignment issues, and it was just too, I just said make it more simple, and that's what you did. So that's why I said so it is approved.
Okay. All
Just
right,
move on to the next one. What's the time
So
on working on
we're
your
working on
speaker
the demo
video?
video, and that's where we're at.
What's your timeline on turning in your speaker video demo?
I'm gonna try to do it in 9 days. I'm gonna use what I have.
There's no try. You're either doing it or you're not.
I'm gonna send it to you in 9 days.
There we go, Rodney. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
I talk to you real soon, brother.
All right,
focused,
definitely.
stay engaged. I love the activity. Stay active, please. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta make this money, man.
All right, boss. I know you want to get the money, but believe me, we want nothing more than for you to get the money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, talk to you, man. Okay. I want to say this. I want to say this to a lot of you before we get out of here. And I need you to listen to me on this. Because we're already into the second month is already dwindling down. And, obviously February is a short month. And then we're getting into March. I literally can already see the grass starting to turn a little bit greener. The days are getting longer. The season is changing right before your eyes. Is your speaker business changing right before your eyes? Because I can guarantee you this, it's not going to change if you're not putting in the effort. Maximum effort and maximum focus wins every single time. You could take a person with less talent. Look at them. It's been a whole lot of people that had a whole lot more talent than me, but they could not outwork me, especially when I get focused on my goals. You have to act like your life depends on this shit, everyone, in order to get every assignment done. In order to understand a piece of technology that you don't understand, yes, it's frustrating. Yes, you are mad. Yes, you're angry. Yes, you're frustrated. But no one else is going to take up your responsibility and pick up the slack and say, I have to learn how to do that myself. I'm going to do that for that person. They're not going to do it. They have their own shit that they're responsible for. So I'm telling you that we know how it feels because we have a to-do list and things on our plate that we have to accomplish as well. You simply have got to stay active. You have to put forth the effort. If you look at people like Eliza that just joined our coach, she hasn't even been in this coaching program 7 days, and she is this close from getting her signature programs approved, and I already approved her bio. Because she doesn't want to feel the way she felt before when she wasn't dealing with the pain of not growing her speaker business. 80% of the people I talk to, they don't want to deal with the pain of growing their speaker business. They just want to hear themselves talk about speaking, but they really don't want to build a speaker business. Many of you invested in this platform because you are interested in doing the work and really building a speaker business. Does it take time? Yes. Is this a race against everybody else? No. Are you going to keep failing? Yes, it's all part of the process. And the last thing I want to share with you is that pain and setbacks and deficiencies and limitations and all of the sacrifices that you're going through, they simply must reside under the roof of success. And without all these emotions and feelings and bullshit, you are not going to achieve success. I recommend an audiobook that all of you should listen to. You should listen to Relentless by Tim Grover, personal trainer to Michael Jordan and also the great Kobe Bryant. And you also need to listen to an audiobook called Wanting. I've already listened to Wanting 4 times. And Wanting, it's an exceptional piece of work because it talks about how mentorship and how looking at a blueprint for other successful people around you, you really don't understand what you want until you see someone else do it at a high level. And you're like, oh shit, that's what it's supposed to look like. Oh, now I have a reference point. Read, listen, put forth the effort. You're only in a race against yourself. Keep sending support tickets. We're not here to judge you. You have to get past the embarrassment. You have to get past the shame. You have to get past the guilt. We all are failures and backsliders. But we all are in it together. Just remember that. We'll catch you through support at speakerfocus.com. And we'll see you on the next Monday Q&A call right here on the speakerfocus.com platform. Talk to you real soon.